Right, I'm back with another video on the T6.1 build. Today, in this video, we're going to be getting this van from being really high to really low. We're going to remove the lift kit and we're going to be fitting the bags along with new drop links, new top mounts. We're going to put some cheap brakes on the front for now, get the wheels on and get it on the floor. So let's get to it. Right, so first off, I'm going to start off by getting the van in the air, get the wheels off. I'm going to get all the lift kit suspension off, and then we'll start by installing the bags, then moving on to the lines and the management and the compressors and stuff. Still unsure where I'm going to be putting the management and the compressors as of yet, but I'll have a look at that as the day goes on. Right, as you can see, I've got the one leg off. As mentioned before, that's a Bilstein lift kit. So I'm going under now, is under the two bolts there. Get that leg off and we'll get the bag installed and the hub back up in the hole. I've made a little bit of a mistake. I should have ordered new top mounts and then the little plates on the top. Not so much the top plates in the engine bay, but the top plates for the struts. I always make sure my customers order them and I forgot for some reason. And yeah, and one of mine's damaged. I'll show you that. As you can see, bags are off, both of them. Only show again the one off, but they're actually both off. But the one plate, obviously where the lower arm had snapped and gone back, you probably are going to see it on camera. But inside there, it's very slightly bent, so I'm not going to risk that. And that one, you can see that one a bit more. That one's bent, so I've ordered two of them. But you can clearly see this one shock is bent. So yeah, that lift kit needs two new shocks. I'm going to weigh up the options of buying two new shocks to then sell it as a kit, because the springs are fine and the backs are going to be fine. Front bags mounted into the hubs, everything copper greased up and everything, all the bolts, connectors are on. Both of them, obviously I can't get them on now till tomorrow, unfortunately, till TPS get the new top plates on, so they're ready to go in. So I think one wait for them, I'll move on to the backs. Also notice my inner CV gate's got a little split, which I mentioned, so I've ordered that as well, so I'll do that before popping the hubs and everything back in. Right, so that's rear shocks, rear springs removed. So now we'll start the install on the rear bags. I believe I might have to cut them down, I think, to allow the bag to go up. I'll double check that. Also, I think the other mod you have to do to get these low is pop these clips out here, mark it here, re-drill, I think it's 6mm holes, and then they'll fit there, just to stop you squashing the wiring. But I will check about cutting them. Right, so that's all the back end cut, what needs to be cut I think. So we've cut the bottom there where the spring used to sit, and also up the top there to allow the bag to sit flush. Coming around on the side of the arms, as you can see, I've relocated the wires so that allows clearance and that they don't get trapped on the top. So that is just a case of drilling 2 6mm holes and they just push in as before. And then up here I've fitted the 2 brackets for the tank using the rib nut insert. So basically just drill the floor, rib nut insert, and then 2 13mm bolts either bracket. Same on that side, cut there and there. And the wiring's in place. So next in, we'll get the bags in, shocks on, and start running the lines. Right, a lot of progress made on the back now. Got the rear bags on, got the rear shocks on, we've got the tank in place. So let's give you a show of that and show you what the plan is. There's the rear bags, obviously they're not inflated, so there's a gap there and a gap there. As soon as I pump up, that'll fill that space. Air connector just coming that way on a 90. We've got the solo short shocks, and then the tank there. I've just got to get a fit in to be able to run a drain. But as far as the fittings goes, I've got 3 at the one end, so there'll be 2 for the compressors. 1 what will go from the tank to the management. The reason we put them this end, most people put them that end because they run the lines away from the exhaust and down that way. But on the T6.1 the exhaust finishes here rather than the back end. So I'm going to run all my lines backwards this way along the beam up to this far corner, because inside I'm going to be having my 3P management and compressors in this corner. I'm going to do a little build so they can just come here straight through the floor. And if we move around to this side, we've got the shock bag, same again, connector up there, which then I'll run straight this way, parallel with these, and they'll all run together nicely down to that corner. Right, so it's been on a little mission this morning, trying to get bits and bobs, been to TPS, also been to tap my wheels to try and get the 2 rear tyres changed over. I've got 2 new tyres, but obviously we've been closing down, we've sold a lot of equipment off, including the tyre machine, so I couldn't do it myself. Nowhere locally wants to touch them, so I'm just going to have to put them on there with the stretch they've got and change them myself, or either borrow someone's machine or invest in a machine when we move back in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, bid TPS, show you what we've got from there. Got new in the CV gator, as I mentioned, it's split, and then the 2 new top mount plates, and then the 2 little plates that go inside the engine bay. There's the old ones. So yeah, we've got them now, and get them on the legs, get them fitted to the bags, and then we can get the bags fitted back up on the van, and that's what I'll just crack on with now. New CV gator fitted, nice genuine one, clips parallel. That's a bit of OCD playing in there, but I always do it. Pop that back in now. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to offer the leg up, get the nut on top, and then we'll start banging this corner back together. I would advise having a second pair of hands to do that, because the leg and the hub is quite heavy together, and then get your hand round and get that started. But I'm used to it now, so we'll just pop the drive shaft back in. Right, just to give everything as a thread or a spline, just a little coat of copper slick, just so the next time you come to undo it, everything ain't seized. You don't matter how new your van is, the weather gets to it all. That's the drive shaft in. There's a lot of difference there. I got to pry the lower arm down. There we go. And when I'm doing complete fronts like this, I usually tend to do them both together, so I'll get it all to waist height to both sides, send it up both sides. That's just the way I work. It's efficient. When you work for yourself, time is money, or when you've worked on at places where stuff is bonus efficient, you find ways of doing stuff a lot quicker. Obviously I ain't rushing because we've got it all on camera. What I'm going to do, to be honest, is crack them lower arms, I think, and just take some pressure off them. Otherwise you're putting all the pressure on the bush rather than the arm itself and twisting the bush, because how far I'm down now because of the lift kit. If you can, always put a little bit of pressure on the arm or whatever you're about tighten up, because the ball joints will tend to spin. So if you just put some pressure on the arm against the joint, it should allow you to tighten it up. Should be in the magic word. Because there's no air in the bag, there ain't that much pressure. There we go. And then for the tracker end, pull down on the end. Same again, snip it up. That's one side. Let's tighten that arm back up, because it's always going to be in a lower position. So what I tend to do from lowering a car, as I showed, is lift them lower arm, loosen them lower arm bolts. And then what I'll actually do now is tighten them arm bolts up in that position, sort of where the ride height's going to be, rather than putting all the stress on the rubber bush. Right, this is where we've decided to put the management and the compressors. Obviously that are permanent fixtures just to hold it, just to get it working. We did want it in the quarter down there, but the quarter isn't deep enough for the compressors. So the plan now is management sort of there floating, and then what we'll do, once we make some, we're going to have one compressor sat there like that, and then the other one back to back like that, so it allows both the airlines to run down to where they need to, and then have it like covered in some nice Alcantara or something like that, with maybe some perspex and some lighting. So that will be like all covered in 2 compressors and the management. But yeah, that's just a little insight to where the management's going and where it currently is. As you can see, the 8 holes with the rubber bungs there where all the pipe work comes through, which I think will look alright, to be fair. Well, that's all the aeroid installed now. Got all the rear bags on, rear shocks on, the tank on. we've now got all the lines fully in place. And if you look here, we've fixed it all in place with P-clips, try and get it as neat as we possibly can really. As neat as Aeroid can look with airlines going everywhere. Try to keep away from any sharp edges or any tight bends where it can rub. And then what we've done, we've brought all the airlines up into this corner. And if you see up there, we've got holes drilled in the floor with some rubber bungs for them all to pass through, so there's 8 in total. Just cut out their heat shield, just to allow me to put the heat shield back on. But with that still there. And you can see we've run the airline all the way down the chassis of the car. Troy took it in, so then we can be able to put the covers back on. Moving down to the front. Same again, try to keep it away from the brake pipe, and then we've left the loop there, so when you turn left to right, there's no stress on the braided hose itself. Same this side, just a nice loop, cleared from the brake line, and I'm running all the way down the sill. A bit harder this side because you've got the tank and that blue tank, but we still just pinned it all the way there, round the back, on the chassis leg, over the chassis, round by the tank, all the way to the back. I have got to get one more fitting for this one here. I've only got some right angle fittings. I need a straight push fit, so then that line here will go straight nicely into the water catcher there. And then we've got the pressure relief valve, which is next to that, running back. It's also a drain, so if there's any water in the bottom of the tank, obviously that will catch water, but you can press that little valve there and that will release it as well. So yeah, that's all the Aeroid in. Next to do is get it on the floor, get it outside, and we'll show you it on the deck. Well guys, that's the installation of the air suspension installed. Also, the wheels are on and the van's currently sitting on the deck. Obviously you've already seen the front bumper with the lights and everything, but I think the colour really pops now with the silver wheels and the gloss black voice sitting really low. Yeah, it's a lot of money to fork out, but when you look at it, once it's like this, it makes it all worthwhile. So we'll just show you the fitment on the front, because you know a lot of the transporters suffer. We're not going that low on the front, but with these solo bags it sits pretty well, to be honest. In all fairness, I might actually put a spacer on the front. Once I've got the line, I've got to put the arch liners in still, so once they're in I might even fiddle with some spacers. And then moving on to the back, we've still actually got a little bit of pressure in the bags, and as you can see it's sitting arch to lip, really nice. So I'll just set the presets there so it don't allow it to go any lower than that. And then moving around to the back, we've just rested the new number plate on. Obviously a T6.1 Joe. It was a present off Danny off Christmas. So that's that, and I think that looks really smart. So next plans for the van. Well, next ideas for the van. We're going to do big audio install, interior, seats, black out everything, recarpet it. So yeah, keep an eye out on the channel for that. Don't forget, like, share and subscribe.